star. Is epic at working the technology and who helped me to get this all together. So welcome to How to Save Your Planet from Home. Today is the 4th challenge. So How to Save Your Planet from Home is all about using everyday objects we have in our homes to create planetary scale changes. So we are issuing you with 6 challenges over 6 days based on everyday objects, okay? And showing you how you can make a big difference for your planet just through the everyday things we have in our homes. So we did three different challenges last week. Thank you to everybody who took part. You were amazing. We selected a winner on Sunday. In the end, because the entries were so amazing, we put the names in the hat. The winner was Jennifer Toomey in Crosshaven. Well done, Jennifer and her family. So enter again this week. Enter and you can win a copy of my new book, How to Save Your Planet One Object at a Time. It comes out on Thursday, so you'll be one of the first people in Ireland or the UK to have a copy. Make sure that when you post your entries that you tag us at Change by Degrees, hashtag How to Save Your Planet. In fact, hashtag How to Save Your Planet is the easiest way to find you, okay? So it's all about posting your photos when you are responding to the challenge. So today's challenge, what is it? Today's challenge is all about kettles and cups of tea, okay? What have kettles and cups of tea got to do with saving the planet, you might ask? Well, I'm going to tell you all about that. But first, did you know that we're pretty amazing in Ireland? We are the biggest drinkers of tea in the world, okay? Number one, on average in Ireland, drinks 5 to 6 cups of tea a day. That is a lot of tea. That's 5 or 6 times a day that we have to boil the kettle to make tea, yeah? It's an awful lot of times that this kettle is turned on. And right now we're all at home. So the chances are we might even be drinking more tea and coffee than we normally are. Have a look. See if you can see how many times the kettle gets turned on in your house each day. So I want to give you 3 facts about kettles and cups of tea so you can understand what their planetary impact is. Okay, so here comes 3 pieces of science for you. So number 1 is that most people boil more water than they need when they make a cup of tea. So if you're making 5 or 6 cups of tea, that's 5 or 6 times a day that most people perhaps just fill the kettle up and turn it on, but then maybe only make 1 cup of tea or 2. Or maybe they fill up the kettle and they boil it 3 times before they actually getting around to making the cup of tea. Well, all that adds up both in terms of the electricity we use and the cost. So here's the thing to know. In the United Kingdom, so in our next door neighbours, they did a study in 2016 and they found that 3/4 of all the households, of all the families in the United Kingdom overfill their kettle. And do you know how much money that was equivalent to? 68 million pounds sterling, just from overfilling their kettles. That is money down the drain, but is also a lot of carbon dioxide gone up into the air, which causes climate change. So fact number 2. So number 1, we all overfill. Fact number 2 is that 1 kilo of tea produces the equivalent of 12 kilograms of carbon dioxide. Now, if you remember from last week, we learned that carbon dioxide is the main gas that causes climate change. Okay, so 1 kilo of tea produces 12 kilos of carbon dioxide. That's a lot. That's about the same as 48 kilometers driving in a car. Okay, and if you remember back to challenge 2, it's not much less than 1 pair of trainers, which was 55 kilometers driven in a car. So every kilo of tea produces 12 kilograms of carbon dioxide. So tea is directly contributing to climate change. But now, where in the making of the tea is most of that energy used? Where is that electricity being consumed in? Where are we producing all this carbon dioxide from? It might surprise you that it is not the transporting of the tea from Kenya or India to Ireland that is the main issue. The main source of the carbon dioxide emissions from tea is from boiling the water to make the tea and the fact that we boil too much. So 85% of the carbon footprint of your tea is from boiling the kettle. So every time we boil less water and we boil only the water we need, we save money and we save the planet. This is amazing, just from something as simple as making tea. So what we want to do is only boil the water that we need. That doesn't sound too hard, does it? So that's where this week's challenge comes in. Challenge number 4 is to help someone in your house to make a cup of tea. So help your mom or your dad to make a cup of tea. And how you're going to do that is you're going to make sure that they boil only the water that they need. So get them to measure out. So fill up the cup with water, yeah, and then put it inside the kettle. Or else a lot of kettles have on the side of them 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup. Is anybody in your house using that? Right? So see if you can use that either. And I want you to take a photograph of yourself boiling just the amount of water you need for a cup of tea. Then send us the photograph, tag us at Change by Degrees, hashtag how to save your planet. Okay? Send us the photograph of you measuring out just the right amount of water for the cup of tea. And let us know who you're making that cup of tea for. I'd love to know who's going to be the beneficiary of that lovely cup of tea, who will get to enjoy it. And then what you can do after you've entered this challenge is to use your pester power all week. All week, monitor the behavior of the grown-ups and see that they only boil the water that they need to make the number of cups of tea that they want. Okay, so you have amazing pester power as young people in your families, especially now because your parents cannot get away from you. So your job is to be like the Gardaí watching kettle each time and making sure that people only boil the water that they need. You will be saving your family a fortune in the fact that they won't be wasting electricity. Plus, you're doing a great thing for the planet by reducing climate change. Okay, so take your photograph of you measuring the water into the kettle, post it on Facebook or on Instagram, tag us at Change by Degrees, hashtag how to save your planet. Yeah, and you could be in for a chance to win this week's copy of How to Save Your Planet One Object at a Time, which is full of fun facts like the ones I've been telling you. The next challenge number 5, is going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. We'll be with you on Instagram Live and on YouTube Live, hopefully without all of the technical issues that I had earlier this morning. Thank you for taking part. If anybody you know wants to take part, share all this with them. They can still go back over the challenges from last week if they're looking for something to do, and keep going on competing in our planetary challenges. Well done, everybody. See you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Bye.